Sometimes I question the power of knowledge. We're taught know thyself, but know better thy enemy. All the intelligence, counterintelligence, behavioral patterns, information that fuels the strategic planning of war's component parts. A tiresome burden that amounts to what? Words? Because what, after all, is knowledge without belief?
What was that?
Sometimes I envy you. You fight for what you believe, and for those beliefs, you die. It's too bad I know better.
This is Henneh, an Imperial hailing originally from the Imperial city in Cyrodiil. Born to a wealthy family, Henneh grew up surrounded by the most privileged and influential members of Cyrodiilic society. Her parents were both renowned artists, her mother a painter, and her father a famous bard. As a child, she'd often attend artistic symposiums led by her parents, who used their art to be openly critical of the Empire's militaristic spread across Tamriel. Even at a young age, Henneh formed her own opinions on her parents' supposed philosophy. How could they be so blatantly disdainful of a system that also provided them with such security and wealth? This hypocrisy leaves her with a tinge of cynicism that stays with her. Henneh was always bursting with energy, and though her parents encouraged her to express herself through artistic pursuits, she made a discovery that would change her life forever: the sword. To her parents' dismay, Henneh demonstrated incredible skill with the sword, even as a young child. She enjoyed the outrage this caused them, and practiced relentlessly, keen to distinguish herself from them. Her intelligence and initiative soon caught the attention of the Penitus Oculatus, who recruited her to join. She flourished with the resources they provided her, yet her headstrong and arrogant manner proved the greater challenge for her in interpersonal matters and taking orders. When it came time for her to receive her final assignment as a recruit, Henneh bluntly informed her commander that she had already assassinated the target, demonstrating that she had acquired the necessary information by her own means. Impressed, vexed, and insulted, her superiors immediately selected Henneh for an important mission, one that would send her conveniently far from them, to the frigid province of Skyrim. Henneh arrives in Solitude after a stop in Dragon Bridge and heads to the Winking Skeever to stay the night and report early to General Tullius for her first assignment. As she approaches the bar, she hears a mellifluous melody, and when she investigates the source of the music, Henneh is transfixed, and for the first time in her life, is completely disarmed. After the performance, Henneh approaches the charming bard, whose name is Lizette, and they talk all night, Henneh dashing off to make it on time to Castle Dower. Henneh dives into her agent role in Skyrim with a focus in special operations, investigating and gathering intelligence on possible threats to the Emperor and the Empire's campaign to crush the Stormcloak Rebellion. With each mission, she hones her signature combat style, dual-wielding one-handed swords and deft acrobatics at lightning speed, while once again refusing orders to wear a helmet, which she insists only obstructs her visibility and dexterity in combat. While the average Stormcloak is no match for Henneh, she can't help but be impressed by the Nord's fortitude and drive in battle, and respects their take on magic as an inferior weapon and the mark of a coward. Her expeditions take her all across Skyrim and eventually to Whiterun, where she discovers a source of mysterious power related to the burgeoning threat of dragons. After her first dragon fight, a warm, effervescent energy floods from the dragon's body to hers, causing the other soldiers to gather around her, telling her to shout. She astonishes herself as much as them when she is able to deliver a mighty shout, but can't get out of there fast enough, uncomfortable with this strange Nord legend they keep talking about. Lizette, however, is thrilled to see Henneh's dragonborn abilities reveal themselves, confirming her intuition that Henneh is an exceptional being whose gifts are historic. She pushes Henneh to develop her voice and step fully into her role as dragonborn, but Henneh is resentful of this new public identity being imposed on her, and insists she is still just an agent of the Penitus Oculatus. The one thing she can't deny is the power of that shout. She makes it a point to collect and try different shouts when she is out on missions. Her combat abilities skyrocket when she discovers the shout Elemental Fury, which imbues her two sword arms with spectacular speed and transforms her into an untouchable flurry of blades on the battlefield. As she and Lizette spend more time together, Henneh occasionally withdraws without warning, overwhelmed by her feelings and not knowing how to share what she is going through. Lizette isn't easily fazed by Henneh's moods, however, and breezily continues her routine, plenty content with making music and the rich social life she leads as a bard in solitude. Henneh's confounded by Lizette's ability to be instantly and universally liked. Henneh has always insisted on working alone, uninterested in collaborating with others, and had no awareness of how her reticent arrogance affected people. But Lizette's influence slowly starts to affect Henneh as she encourages Henneh to open up. At one point, Lizette convinces Henneh to take a follower on one of her missions, her good friend Belrind, a regular at the Winking Skeever who she says is a seasoned fighter and a warm-hearted person. Out in the field, Henneh confirms her impression of Belrind as an insufferable fool who is best left where he usually is, at an inn somewhere drinking and rambling about Nord craftsmanship. She pulls some strings to set him up as a guard in Whiterun, where she drops him off on her way back, free of his incessant chit-chat for good, and spins Belrind's new post as good news to Lizette. As the war draws to a close, General Tullius passes on his high praise of Henneh's efficiency and expertise to Commander Morrow, who assigns her the task of rooting out the Dark Brotherhood. Lizette points out that Henneh's skills far surpass the demands of these smaller missions, and urges her to meet with the Greybeards. As Henneh cuts her way through the assassin's den, it is obvious that the power of elemental fury behind her swords is no match for this place, and she starts thinking maybe she is destined for greater things. Henneh decides it's time to move to a more central area of Skyrim to better handle the array of duties she's now responsible for, Whiterun being the practical choice, where she is already a Thane. She assumes that she will go on her own, but Lizette expects to accompany Henneh on what she sees as a new adventure. After a long debate, Lizette finally convinces Henneh that they will take this next step together, leaving Henneh mystified yet again at how easily swayed she is by this dreamy artist. Lizette very quickly makes a name for herself in Whiterun as an exceptional bard, but also a beloved citizen of Whiterun, endearing herself to even the most difficult townsfolk. As for Henneh, she is feared and respected, but not very well liked, resentful of dragonborn attention, and can't stand that they are back in the same place as Belrind. Lizette insists to Henneh that she must no longer put off who she really is, and must seize the roles she is destined to fulfill. Henneh finally agrees to visit High Hrothgar, and Lizette is beyond eager to accompany her on this once-in-a-lifetime chance to witness these historic events, and to then write songs from these experiences that will live on through the ages. But Henneh is absolutely opposed to Lisette coming anywhere near dragons. She thinks Lisette idealizes her work and is completely naive about the immense dangers of battle, while Lisette is frustrated by Henneh's unwillingness to take her art seriously, misunderstanding her artistic vision as shallow conceit. They come to a compromise. Lisette will not go with Henneh, but Henneh will keep a journal for Lisette while away, recording her observations and even feelings. Henneh has always focused on getting things done, always looking for the next mission and compartmentalizing in order to complete them. It is Lisette who challenges her to see the larger picture, who convinces her to pursue her role as the Dragonborn, and tries to endow in her a sense of agency and creativity, to expand in ways that she had never considered. Henneh does finally take on the mantle of Dragonborn, achieving heights of heroism that they had only heard of in songs. Despite finding more ease with the social demands of her role in Skyrim, Henneh accepts that she'll never have the same effect on people as Lisette, who is beloved by everyone she meets, which is a power that Henneh still can't begin to fathom.